It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. Hey man, what's your favorite type of food? What's your favorite type?
I love steak. I'm a big steak man.
Dude, steak is really good.
My favorite.
What kind of steak? And how do you like it done?
Oh man. You know, my favorite steak that I ever, the best steak I ever had. Was a filet at Club 33 in Disneyland.
Really? You been to Club 33, dude?
Yeah, it was like my 13th birthday, 14th birthday.
You went when you were 13 or 14? You went real early, dude.
Yeah, it was dope. We sat in the trophy room with all the like animals that Walt Disney had hunted himself. It was fucking crazy, bro.
That exists in Club 33?
Yeah, it's dope, man.
Are you allowed to take pictures in Club 33?
Like I took a picture of the cake, the birthday, on my old phone. And I think we took a couple of pictures, but we weren't allowed to take pictures of like the walls or the decorations. Now it's a lot different. I think now you can because there's other more secretive restaurants.
Oh, okay.
In Disneyland now.
Oh, so they've created more?
Of course.
Okay. Do you know the names of the other secretive restaurants?
Ooh, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but if someone were to say them to me, I'd be like, yeah, I've heard that before.
Okay.
I've heard of that one.
Okay. What are the requirements? What's like the criteria you have to hit in order to get into Club 33?
For me, it was I had an aunt, Thea Myrna, rest in peace. She, at her job, had like a table reserved because the company she worked for had a table to bring the clients and people who came in, and she could reserve the table through her company. And for my birthday one day, she got it reserved for us and brought us all into Disneyland, and we went to Club 33 for dinner, and it was pretty dope. They had a crab. Like all-you-can-eat crab bar.
What? That's so bougie. That's so cool.
It was really,
at such a young age,
even at a young age, I was like, this is really cool.
Okay, that's good that you're able to like appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I've still always thought it was like one of the best steak. It literally melted in my mouth.
Because I've probably... Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, I've had other really good steaks. I had it like a 48-ounce tomahawk bone-in ribeye with my brother at Ruth's Chris in San Francisco.
That makes sense,
which was fucking impeccable. I've had... I had a steak in Reno at a steakhouse underneath the Harris Casino on my birthday, my 21st birthday. That was an incredible steak. But that whole meal was a meal of elegance, my friend. We started it with really fine martinis and ended it with El Diablo coffee, which was like this coffee that they literally poured in front of you that was on fire.
What? And was it just piping hot? How long? You have to wait half an hour before you can drink it?
No, dude. Like 2 seconds.
2 seconds?
Well, not 2 seconds, but like we were drinking it on the way out.
And just suffer a 3rd-degree burn of the jugular?
No.
Really?
It was impeccable.
For such a guy that has had some fine dining, some 5-star dining, I've seen you on the other end. I said to you the other day, because now that you're on this clean diet, I said 7-Eleven is losing a shit ton of money because you're no longer buying their taquitos and hot dogs.
Just their hot dogs. I never bought the taquitos.
Do you remember we used to like just go on some random activities, random trips and whatnot, and we'd be like, you try to get a big gulp? And like,
in high school?
Yeah, man.
Double big gulps.
Oh, God.
And or whatever special cup they had. So if it was Cowboys and Aliens, or if it was Spider-Man, or whatever movie was coming out where they had a special, we should do that for here. We should have cups here.
You want to tape the cups onto the wall?
No.
Put them on the shelves. Okay. I mean, I was like, hey, if you want to do it, I'll
just drink out of them. I guess, no, never mind. So, hey, guys, so we've just spent 37 minutes talking about
Tomahawk Steaks, Club 33, and Big Gulps.
We're keeping all of this in.
Yeah, all of it. So if you've stuck around, you guys are the real ones.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome. We're going to make t-shirts that say welcome.
Yes, guys, stay tuned. We have stickers.
Yeah.
They'll be popping up on every stop sign in Benicia.
Yeah, so check out the
backs of every stop sign in Benicia. There's going to be one of our stickers.
Yeah, so
unless you're a cop, we're not doing that.
No, we're not going to do that at all. For you California rollers out there, you're not going to see the stickers because y'all be California rolling. You see me rolling. Oh. They hate it. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about this movie, dude.
The movie that we watched, it was a great movie. It's a movie that was suggested to us by a close friend of ours.
Yeah, Nikki Tata. You're going to get your 1,000 shout outs. Just stick around. But if you don't stick around, you're only getting this one.
I hope you didn't give up already because she was like, I hate steak.
Gosh, she's just like, oh my gosh, like these guys are going to talk about how they like their steaks. And
she's like, they're never even going to get to the movie.
Gosh.
We still haven't even said the name of the movie.
No, not at all. But this isn't our longest intro, but let's just say it. It's
Death at a Funeral.
That's right, guys.
We'll put a little thing in the bio that says if you don't want to hear really cool talk about steak, just jump to 5 minutes. So welcome everybody who skipped in.
Welcome to another episode of ICBTB, folks.
We also call our podcast It Can't Be That Bad.
We also call our podcast by a whole plethora of other names. Name them, Alex.
The greatest podcast on history.
Yeah, I also call it the fucking bomb.gov podcast of all history.
My mom says it's her favorite podcast.
My mom says it's her favorite English source of media and entertainment.
I have decided that I want to get an ICBTB tattoo.
You do?
Yeah, because I like the phrase period, and then I also like the fact that we have this podcast and everything like that.
Where would you get it?
On my left arm. That's where I'm getting.
Arm?
That's where I'm going to get all my tattoos.
All right. Should I get IC and then you should get BTB? No. I'm thinking deep into this.
No. That's
people are
stupid.
What's your tattoo stand for? It can't. That's all. you got. My friend's not here.
It can't. It can't.
What's your
Be that
tattoo
bad.
stand? What? Be that?
Just start punching that person. Right. I have to be that bad. What? Alex, you've gotten really dark since you got that tattoo. I have to be that bad.
Cut to 2 months later, Alex in a jail cell.
Shooting heroin through my toes because I don't want to do it to my arms.
Hey, man, what are you in here for? What are you serving time for?
Shut up! And I start beating him.
Dude, you're going to be, what's Tom Hardy's character?
I don't know why I imagine Tom Holland. I just imagine Tom Holland in prison.
Yeah, no, that guy
I've been wanting to see Tom
up.
Holland go to prison. No, I think he could hold his own by dancing and entertaining the prisoners.
That's right. He's a phenomenal dancer.
So we watched Death at a Funeral.
Yeah, which is highly saturated with. We did say the title.
We did at the 5 minute mark, and then went another 2 minutes talking about nonsense.
Guys, we're gonna put all the timestamps that you need to skip to if you don't want to hear this nonsense.
So welcome the third group of people who've jumped in now to the 7 minute timestamp.
Y'all are the real ones.
You're actually the fakest ones out of all of them. So listen to the rest of the podcast, you fucks.
Listen to everything.
So we watched Death at a Funeral, which is a great movie. Thank you, Nikki. I had seen it in parts before this podcast, and then when we picked it for this podcast, I watched it in its entirety a handful of times, and I enjoyed it every single time.
Same here. There was just a shit ton of heavy hitters.
I didn't realize how many people were in it, even during the titles when the opening titles were going. Long opening titles.
Really?
But because there's so many people they have to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into the nitty gritty.
Let's do it, nitty gritty.
Excuse me. This movie was released in 2010. It is 92 minutes long, has a rating of 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 42% on the Rotten Tomatoes, and then it has a 3.5 out of 4 on Robert Ebert's rating.
That's a high. Damn.
He liked it. He thought it was very funny. He actually said, and this is a quote, he thought it was the funniest movie since The Hangover.
Man, that's a classic, too. Once I saw The Hangover, I was like, this is really good.
I think that was one of the first rated R movies that I went to like by myself with my friends.
Really?
Yeah, and I bought the ticket, and the dude like, all right, and like gave me the ticket, and like it was one of those.
Wow,
movies.
so it holds that kind of like a sentiment and nostalgia. That's pretty dope. That's a good one.
Would you like to guess the percentage of Google users that approved of this movie?
Love to. I'm gonna go with 87%. Was I good? Was that? Dude, don't just stare at me blankly. Can you not leave me in anticipation like this? What?
You're fucking right.
Really?
You're fucking right, Christian.
Ding, ding, ding.
This is episode 99, and you finally got it fucking right.
Fuck,
Congratulations,
dude.
my friend.
Every single 87%.
Time. Oh, man. I've always said 87 is a pretty common median number. 87, 84, 92.
Yeah,
well done.
All of those numbers.
Well done.
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
I don't know if you watch Great British Bake Off, but when you get a handshake from Paul Hollywood, that is a great thing.
I don't watch it, but I can
it's
tell
on
that
Netflix,
it's a
you
big
fucking
thing.
should.
Okay, I'll do it.
Preparing for a funeral is never pleasant. But for Aaron, it's shaping up to be the worst day of his life. Sibling rivalry, meddling family members, and a little stranger with a big secret threaten to blow the lid off the coffin when Aaron struggles to give his late father a proper memorial.
Boom. And for those of you guys that couldn't tell, that is the synopsis.
That's actually my monologue for when I go to auditions, and I can't figure out why I'm not getting roles.
You should be the synopsis guy.
Hi, my name's Alex. I'll be doing the synopsises.
Pardon?
What?
You mean synopsis?
Preparing for a funeral.
You're hired.
This movie is incredible. Chris Rock plays the lead role. His father has passed away. And
Yeah.
he's leading this funeral. His family is coming in from all over town, uncles and nieces and brothers.
Everybody in the club.
Family, friends.
Really. And let's... This movie is crazy from the get because it opens up with Kevin Hart, and this is Kevin Hart prior to his extreme fame and fortune that he has now. I think he may have
had a couple of comedy specials that had come out by this time.
Yeah.
He definitely made Soul Plane.
For sure.
But he didn't. He had a very small part. I totally forgot he was in this movie.
Yeah.
And so when he showed up in the beginning, I thought it was hilarious. He is the he runs the
funeral service,
exactly,
or like he delivers the casket with the deceased in it, and
he works at the mortuary, and so he delivers this casket, and they open it. And he asks Chris Rock. He goes, "Would you like to see your father one last time?" And they open the lid, and Chris Rock goes, "Who is this man?"
And then Kevin Hart's like, I asked myself the same question when my father died. I was like, who is this man?
No. Who is this man?
And it's an Asian dude inside of the casket.
And Kevin Hart's like, oh my God. You know what? Your father is in one of two places. I think he's in the second one. But I'll find him. I'll find him.
What two places do you think Kevin Hart was thinking of?
I think he was thinking it's either first place he thought of was whoever the funeral for the Asian person is. And then the second one, I think it's in the ground.
Oh, no.
Okay.
What a fucking shit
but they
show,
don't,
dude.
But they don't say it. That's just my assumption.
This movie jumps all over the place.
It starts out. That's the first joke. That's the first joke.
Yeah, really.
Right. So if you like dark humor, a movie called Death at a Funeral, shocking, is the movie for you.
That summarizes it all pretty much. And it jumps from character to character. Like there, you get like 27 characters thrown at you.
Yeah.
But they do a good job at like really allowing you to get to know them, right?
And because I think they spend so much time interacting with each other, the characters,
yes,
you meet them briefly, and then they're interacting with other people. That's how you get to know them.
Yeah.
And it's like a play. It pretty much all takes place in the house.
Yeah.
Except for the beginning when they're introducing people. It's mostly all in one location.
Yeah, and they're pretty subtle about like establishing like who's what to who. It's not like, hey,
well, because I call everybody uncle, blah blah blah, and like
yeah. It could be worse. I've definitely seen, like, have you done like an improv scene where someone walks in and just like, hey, Uncle Jerry, it's nice to meet you here in this barnyard in West Virginia. Are you ready to start
kissing?
Kissing?
Yeah, I've been in that scene all the time.
I keep kissing people in improv scenes.
I don't know why I can't stay on the team for longer than a little bit.
But yeah, Tracy Morgan's in this fucking film.
And Tracy Morgan is my favorite character. We can go ahead and get into that.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan isn't related to the family, but he's a family friend who they make do all the shit work. He's in charge of taking care of Danny Glover's character.
Yes.
Uncle Ralph, Uncle Randy.
I can't remember. Uncle Russell, I think.
Uncle Russell, that's exactly
what it is.
And Uncle Russell is so mean to Tracy Morgan.
He's so aggressive, just
Tracy
yelling.
Morgan is such an... So Tracy Morgan is trying to park, and Zoë Saldaña swoops in and steals his spot. And now he has to park down the street, down the hill. Yeah. And has to push Uncle Russell in his wheelchair. The whole time Uncle Russell's hitting him with his cane, and he's late. Everyone's like, where is Uncle Russell? And they're like, I don't know where Norman is. Norman's wasting his time or something. I don't know what he's doing. Everyone's pissed. And then he finally gets there, and they're like, what took you so long? He's like, I had to push him up a hill, and he was hitting me in my balls, and like he's going on. And then like they're like, all right, whatever, he's in. So they push him in, they get him in his seat, they start the services. Tracy Morgan sits down, he's sitting right behind Zoë Saldaña, and he's like, hey. He keeps poking her. He says, hey.
So bothersome.
And she's like, if you poke me again, I'm going to break your hand. He goes, ooh, threats. He's like, because of you, I had to park all the way down the hill.
Dude, I just love Tracy Morgan's delivery with
so much. He's so funny.
Yeah, he could say anything. He could say anything depressing, sad, angry, and I'm gonna laugh. I'm sorry.
My second favorite actor in this movie was James Marsden.
Yeah.
Incredible. James Marsden plays Zoë Saldaña's boyfriend, who is nervous because he knows that Zoe's dad doesn't like him.
At all, no.
And so he's stressing out, and when they go pick up her brother, she sees that he's got this bottle of Valium on the table.
Yeah.
She gives him a couple Valium. It turns out that the Valium is not Valium.
It's like acid laced with more acid.
With mescaline. At one point he says there's mescaline in it.
Yeah.
So he's tripping hard.
Right. Even before they get to the funeral, he thinks there's like a dog in the car. He's like, you hear that?
Did his dog run by?
Is there like barking?
And he plays high, hilarious, without it being
too hack.
Exactly.
It's not too cheesy. It's not like seeing bad improv, someone being drunk or high, where they're like obviously slurring their words and being sloppy or belligerent.
Which has its moments, but it is not. That's not it.
It's well played.
Exactly.
My favorite part from James Marsden in this movie was when he was talking to Zoe Saldana's mother or aunt. Chris Rock's mom,
the widow,
yeah, and he's talking to her and he's trying to like give her condolences. And he's like, "I'm so sorry," and he's high as shit right now, and he starts singing "Amazing Grace," and he sings it so well.
Singing
grace, how sweet
those sounds.
Yeah, he's super gospel. That saved a wretch like me.
No, he doesn't get that.
Oh, he doesn't. He gets distracted. He looks at her.
He looks at her hat, and then everyone's like, and so they push him aside. Of course, his arc is hilarious. So what happens to him is he ends up getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And eventually he is naked on the roof of the house.
Yeah, dude.
Wait.
Are we missing? What are you going to talk about?
The biggest part that he does.
Oh, yeah.
So during Chris Rock's eulogy for his father,
Yep.
James Marsden jumps up and says, "The coffin's moving."
And everyone's like,
No.
Stop.
He's like, no. He's like, he gets up. He's like, somebody's trying to get out. And he runs over to the coffin and like, no. And he's getting pushed out of the way. And all of a sudden he hits the coffin. It falls and opens up. Wilhelm scream.
Was there a Wilhelm scream in there?
Body falls out of the coffin. Everyone's screaming. The wife passes out. Chris Rock is trying to Martin Lawrence is trying to beat his ass. It's going on.
It's absolute mayhem, but it's so funny, dude. It's so funny. And at one point, like he stands up and he does like the whole Sig Heil thing too.
Oh, because he goes, my father, or Chris Rock, his eulogy goes something like this. He goes, "My father was an exceptional man. He was born in 1938, an exceptional year. The number one song in 1938 was Shorten and Bread."
Mama's in the kitchen, shorten bread
in the kitchen. And then he goes, Time Magazine's Man of the Year was Adolf Hitler. And James Marsden salutes, and Zoe Saldaña like slaps his hand down.
What the fuck? Don't do that here. Oh man, a lot of singing on this episode so far, dude.
Oh man, this is the musical episode.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember in high school, me and Austin, we took TLC Scrubs or No Scrubs, right? I don't want no scrubs.
Yes.
And then we did the funniest thing. We took it, we put it onto an editing software. We lowered the frequency so it sounded like three dudes singing. You did this.
I slowed it down. I slowed it down. I slowed it down. And it sounded like exactly like Austin Scott singing.
Yeah, it did. And so I brought it to my girlfriend at the time. Dude, we were showing it to people.
So
and
they
people
get
were like,
parties and shit.
What the is that you guys?
It is.
And we committed hard. So people thought we were just an amazing vocal trio. And all it took was Alex. Dude, we should do that to more songs.
Oh, man. Austin was pissed because he was like, that doesn't sound like me. And I was like, no. There's like a little quiver in the voice that actually sounds exactly like you, Austin.
They had very similar vibratos.
The next great character in this movie was Zoë Saldaña.
She was a great straight
very
character.
Realistic, yes.
Yeah. She was the voice of reason, even more so than Chris Rock.
I think she doesn't get enough credit for the characters that she plays as a grounding character. Even in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is such a crazy, kooky, out there movie, she is a very grounded
She holds
actress.
it together because her opposite already is Chris.
James Marsden. You're talking about Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and Chris Pratt in Guardians. Yeah, well, but also James Marsden in this movie. Let's start jump to that part. So he ends up naked on a roof, and this entire time Zoë Saldaña is trying to get him off of the roof, and also trying to fight off her ex-boyfriend who's also at the funeral,
Luke Wilson,
and her dad loves Luke Wilson.
Who in the beginning you kind of like Luke Wilson. You kind of think like, I hope he gets the girl back, and then you realize he's a
He's an
bag.
asshole, dude. Such a dick. I remember there was one scene where he was confiding in Uncle Russell, and he was saying like, I just don't know what's going on. And Uncle Russell like, what seems to be the problem?
He's like, I don't know how to get her to love me anymore. He's like, I guess that's just it.
And then Uncle Russell's like, have you tried shaking her?
What?
Have you tried shaking her?
I don't know if that's gonna work, Uncle Russell.
Well, has not trying to shake her worked?
Huh. Well, you got a good point. So then he goes upstairs and
he starts shaking her. Yeah,
pretty much corners Zoë Saldaña.
Yeah,
bit riper, and then smacks a big wet one on her mouth with his mouth.
Sidebar. I kind of like it. You're funny, man. When you do this, when you say something that's like not the most PC, you kind of make a funny face and a funny voice to kind of just like deter it. And then like I've seen you do that in front of people, and it works. People are just like, yeah, he said that, and I'm fine with it.
I do get away with saying. I've always gotten away with saying some bad stuff.
I'm pretty bad at getting away with saying bad stuff because people view me as this like innocent, super nice guy. So the moment that I say, like, I remember the first time I fucking
apparently
cussed.
People think I'm a princess.
Who? Guys, recently we put a poll on Instagram story of Alejandro, and the question was, what do you think Alejandro is? And there were 4 options. It was A, douchebag.
Why was that the right answer?
No, I fucked up on that one. I accidentally made that the right answer. And then the second choice, B, was a 12-year-old. C was a princess.
Not even a teenager.
And then D was a good friend. That was at least there.
Which got a decent amount of votes.
Yeah, I think the second amount of votes.
Princess got it was tied for second, yeah.
Oh, dude, I forgot to take a look at it right before it was finished with the most votes.
I did. I reposted the results.
But nah, dude, you are a good friend, might I say.
Oh, well, thanks, man.
I'll say that. But let's get back to this movie. I'll give you compliments later when we're not recording.
I want to talk about Peter Dinklage real quick.
Yes.
So Peter Dinklage plays a character who everybody in the family is like, who is this gentleman at the funeral? And he keeps telling Chris Rock, hey, I need to speak to you. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. And then it ends up that he is going to try and blackmail Chris Rock and his family because him and the deceased have been having a long-time affair. Cross-dressing, musical-loving affair. They're
they're a gay couple,
very into each other. And
Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence, they're not. No, Chris Rock was the only one in the room with Peter Dinklage, and he's not believing a word that Peter Dinklage is saying.
He's like, here's a picture of us at the Halloween costume contest. We were both sailors.
I'm like, okay.
Here's a picture of us at the Dreamgirls. We went to go see it.
It slowly gets more and more gay, and like these things you could get away with. You could dress up as a sailor
Chris
with a friend.
What does Dreamgirls got to do with this?
Yeah, I've seen Dreamgirls 2 or 3 times.
It's like, I love Dreamgirls.
I'm not gay. Yeah. And then there was one last picture, and they never describe it, and it's apparently an extremely.
It's so bad. It's so bad that when Martin Lawrence sees it, he immediately says, "Pay the man." And then like later on, they have like a big fight where he's like, you know what? Fuck this motherfucker. Don't pay the man. You know what? We're not going to pay this man. And Chris Rock, like without saying anything, straight face, just pulls the picture out and shows Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence goes, "Oh, daddy.
Oh, no.
Oh, I didn't know you did yoga."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Pay the man. Pay the man."
Some hidden
he's
lines,
like, "You're the oldest brother. Pay the man."
Oh, damn.
Peter Dinklage, fun fact.
Okay. Does that mean you're going to say 5 fun facts because you said it 5 times?
I said it 3 times.
Okay.
Peter Dinklage played the same character in the British Death at a Funeral.
Wait, really?
However, his character's name wasn't Frank.
What was it? Frank? Oh, it was Peter.
Correct.
What? Oh, they made him play himself.
Yeah, wasn't a short person until he auditioned, and they rewrote the character to be a short person.
You know what I just saw him in most recently?
Avengers Infinity War?
No, not that, but that's a good one. Between Two Ferns, the movie.
I did spoilers. I wanted to watch that, but my mom's like, "Oh, save it so we can watch it together." So I haven't seen it yet.
It's hilarious,
Thank
dude.
You. Good plug.
Really?
Yeah. So Peter Dinklage is in this movie. It's his second time playing this role. He does an incredible job, and he is just playing the tops.
Yes.
At one point, they get in a fight, and they're trying to tie him up. And Tracy Morgan walks in and sees Martin Lawrence and Chris Rock on top of Peter Dinklage. And he's like, "Oh, shit, what's going on?" And they go, he's having a seizure. Shut the door. And so Tracy Morgan shuts the door and he goes, oh, I got these Valium I found. We'll give him one of these to calm him down. Mm-hmm. And before he can put the Valium in his head, he goes, oh, let me put my jacket underneath his head. This way he won't choke on his tongue.
Oh my gosh.
Because they taught me that in high school.
Tracy
I fucking love Tracy Morgan,
dude. He thinks he's like the smartest guy there, but like, oh my God, he's just making it worse and worse and worse. I love that everyone in the movie makes it a point to remind him that he's not a part of the family.
No, you're not part of the family. I'm like family.
I'm like family.
I'm like family.
Dude. You ever have a friend like that that just like came around like a Roger from Sister Sister? Or
no, the closest I ever had to that was Otis, our fact checker over here.
Yeah, Otis, how you doing, man?
Shut up. And he used to live next. Shut up, Otis. He used to live down the street.
Otis,
don't look at him.
Okay, Otis.
Don't look at him.
I'm so sorry.
He used to live down the street from me, and sometimes he would just come over and just like walk in. He used to live down the street from you too. Would he do the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was completely cool with it. In fact, I did kind of miss it. Don't look at me, Otis. I did kind of miss it when he moved away.
Otis, you're walking closer and closer, Otis.
Stop kissing me. So my favorite part about Death at the Funeral.
What is it? I've never seen you like this before.
You're ruining this episode again. You ruined the episode again.
Oh man. Otis, the fact checker king and also the kissing kid, dude.
The kissing kid is a great name.
I like that, dude.
The kissing kid. I'm gonna rename my Red Dead Redemption character to
the kissing kid. You should do that. What's your Red Dead Redemption character's name right now?
Jim West.
For someone, and like it's historically accurate that someone would have the name Jim West in the Wild Wild West, but for someone as highly articulate and creative as yourself, you're like, yeah. Jim West is my name.
You know why though, right?
Why?
Jim West was Will Smith's character from Wild Wild West.
Can we do that movie?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Rated, right?
That's one of my favorite movies.
I've always wanted Will Smith's glasses from that movie.
I had his glasses. They came in the kids' meals from Burger King.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and you also got Artemis's as well on a different set. That movie was big for me.
Mm-hmm. That movie was a box office. Yeah, we'll save it.
So we're watching Death at a Funeral, which had James Marsden, who played my favorite Cyclops.
Yes, he was. Man, rest in peace, James Marsden's Cyclops, because they kill him off like in such a pathetic way. Like they brought in the Phoenix storyline way too early.
And they killed him off.
They just killed him off. And he's like the poster boy of the X-Men. And he's who I knew as like the leader of the X-Men ever since Cyclops, the 90s cartoon.
Cyclops, yeah, definitely is the leader. That was his character. And I think the comic book, not to get way too distracted here, underutilized Cyclops a lot. They always kill him or throw him aside or make him evil
Oh, they made him evil at one point?
Yeah.
Oh man, I really want to talk about that. I know we're gonna get carried away for like 10 minutes of like comic book talk.
Let's not even get into it.
Gosh.
Let's get back to Death at a Funeral.
Death at a Funeral. So there's a Death at a Funeral.
Danny Glover's in this movie, and he does say the line, "I'm too old for this shit."
Oh gosh,
and then a couple minutes later, he shits on Tracy Morgan's hand.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, he's like yelling. Prior to that, he's like yelling at Tracy Morgan from the other side of the house, saying, "Norman, where are you?
I gotta take a crap, Norman.
I gotta take a crap." And so, of course, Tracy Morgan doesn't hear that. He's in the room where Peter Dinklage is like...
Yeah, they're shoving Valium down. They're getting super fucking high on the fake Valium.
And then, like, Uncle Russell is knocking at the door. And Tracy Morgan's like, walk in. But he's like, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't do that.
He's like, go to the bathroom upstairs. He's like, I'm in a wheelchair, you fucking idiot.
And he eventually gets into the bathroom downstairs. Tracy Morgan lets him in. They hide Peter Dinklage, who's super duper fucked up from this Valium. And then they bring Uncle Russell to the bathroom, and Norman, Tracy Morgan, puts him on the porcelain throne, and then his hand gets caught in between Uncle Russell's butt and the toilet. And I don't know. Tracy Morgan, you need to be strong. You should be strong enough to pull your hand out of a sticky situation like that. But ching.
No, Danny Glover's a big boy.
He's a big boy, but
Uncle Russell's a big man.
But then with the adrenaline pumping through your veins that like your hand is about to be crapped on, wouldn't you have the superhuman strength to pull it out?
I'd go the other way. I would stick my finger up that person's butt and plug.
It doesn't.
You thought I was serious. You should have seen your face. You should have seen your face. You thought I was serious. For a straight up second, you were just like, what? Your eyes got a little bit bigger.
Dude.
And you were like, what?
Well, yeah, because it's sometimes like I know you pretty well where I can read your sarcasm, but there are times after like 10 years of friendship that you can still fool me, man, because you have like a look, you have like this intonation where you're like, I'm gonna see how far I can take this. I feel bad for strangers that meet you.
Oh, recently I met a stranger where I was at a party and there was somebody who had never met me before, and so they were getting the full dose. And I was with people who do know me very well. I was with the improv team, and so I was just being me. And this person was not used to like how
Your
I
humor.
joke, and they're like constantly looking at me and like. Did he just say that? Like, what is he saying?
And would you just make eye contact with this person? Like,
eventually,
deep eye
near
contact?
the end, not deep eye contact, but eventually at the end, I would like say something and like look at her and then like go back to whatever I was talking about. Or I would just like say it and just like not even like acknowledge it.
Gosh, and you love playing that game. I think that's the most fun part when you do confuse the individual. I have this coworker from where I work, coworker from work. His name's Jonathan. Shout out Jonathan. He listens to this podcast.
Jonathan.
But he doesn't want to subscribe or he doesn't want to pay money. So he doesn't want to pay for Spotify. He's like, there's too many commercials.
Then he should go to Apple Podcast.
He doesn't have an iPhone, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then there are free. We're on like there's a website that my mom used to use. We're on like anything because Podbean.
Podbean really distributes it.
There's
everywhere.
free podcast apps that you can hear us on that we don't even realize we're on.
Yeah, that we're getting like 0.5 of a percent of our.
So Jonathan,
base.
no excuses.
Yeah, no excuse, dude. He keeps asking me, can you just send me the MP3 of the latest episode that you're about to drop? I'm like, nah, dude, get out of here.
You know what? I think for him we should.
We should what?
Just send him just have one person.
Only MP3s.
Here you go, bro.
He gets the exclusive.
Send him that
thing.
Google Doc we use for one.
That's all. Yeah, we'll use a Google Doc. But Death at a Funeral. You have a Best Person on Set award, dude?
Yeah, I do. I think it's actually. I have to look it up here real quick.
Okay, I think mine is gonna go to James Marsden because.
Oh, that's good. That's a good.
He was so funny the way he sang Amazing Grace, the way that he was posing with those stone angels.
Real quick, yes.
Yeah.
The statues and his high acting. I like one of my favorite bits that he does when he's high is he has a leaf in his hand.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Look how beautiful this is." And it sings.
And he puts it up to his ear.
It's like the Bee Gees. But I do want to touch on one more thing.
Yeah.
The relationship between Martin Lawrence and Chris Rock.
Yes.
The adult brother relationship that I think is a dynamic that is often played not like this.
No. This was really good.
Very realistic. And in a movie that can get so crazy and so out of hand, again, a very grounded, real relationship. Here's two brothers who clearly are fighting in competition with each other.
Yeah, they're both writers.
And they both want to impress the other one, right? I think
Definitely.
why Martin Lawrence buys all this shit is because he knows that Chris Rock doesn't have a bunch of money, but at the same time, Chris Rock is doing all this stuff because he knows that Martin Lawrence doesn't get to spend time with his mom and live at the house and things like that.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like conflict there. Because Chris Rock in ways is more successful than Martin Lawrence, and Martin Lawrence obviously in ways is more successful than Chris Rock. Chris Rock is about to be a family man. He's happily married to his wife, who is a fantastic actress. What's her name again? Regina Hall?
Yep.
Regina Hall is so funny ever since like Scary Movie.
Always been.
Yeah.
Good.
And he's a family man.
Yeah.
He's a true family man. Whereas
takes care of his parents.
Yeah, he's always there. Martin Lawrence
didn't know his dad was gay though, so maybe not.
No, didn't talk to him enough. But Martin Lawrence wasn't there enough. He was always gone from being like a famous writer.
Garbage books. Yeah,
yeah, dude. Even the priest liked him. The father doing the funeral service.
So I do want to touch one more thing. Chris Rock constantly says that he was a writer before Martin Lawrence was. Was that because he learned how to write before Martin Lawrence did?
I bet you was
is
the
that
joke.
What the joke is?
Because
he's like, I've been writing longer than he has, and is the joke that
he learned how to write?
I
wonder what their age difference is, like in
real
the movie
life?
or in
the
life.
movie. I think I would think Martin Lawrence is older than Chris Rock.
That's what I think too. Yeah, because he started coming up before Chris Rock, would you say?
I know Martin, his TV show was in the 90s. And Chris Rock,
Yeah.
I don't know if was super, super popular until the 2000s.
Chris Rock came about from
90s,
SNL,
late
right?
90s. Chris Rock?
Chris Rock, yeah, he was in.
Was he on SNL?
I don't know. I could be tripping.
No, the first time I heard of Chris Rock was when he had the bit where it was the difference between N-words and black people.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard that bit?
No, I don't know that bit at all.
Oh my God! After this, literally, as soon as we're done recording, we're gonna watch
Let's
that.
do that.
Okay, my best person on set award.
Yes.
Then real quick, is Dean Craig.
Who's Dean Craig?
Dean Craig is the screenplay writer. He also wrote the original one in England. He rewrote it for America.
Uh-huh.
I think what this movie is at
he
the
did
basic.
it for this one too.
Mm-hmm, at the basis is an incredible script.
Uh-huh.
This is a funny. I've never seen a dark comedy like this. I've never seen anything. It reminded me of a play. It was farcical and silly, yet being grounded and real at the same time. Every actor is doing the best.
Mm-hmm.
Every person is acting up a storm, and I don't think you get to act that well unless you have a really good script.
Yeah.
And so I think this was a well written
good.
script.
That's a good one. Yeah, with so many characters and so many antics and so much back and forth and like jumping from here to there. This was a clean script. It wasn't sloppy at all. Something with this could have easily been sloppy.
And I could see this done with a completely different cast and be just as good, if not better. Because the writing is really good, I think the actors only add to it and in a different way.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I would love to see the English version, see what jokes carried over and what jokes didn't, what characters carried over and what characters didn't.
I'm really curious because British humor is wildly different than
it's a little
American
bit slower.
humor.
It's drier. I mean, like look at the pilot episode of The Office in America and then the pilot episode of the one in England.
Oh, that's a good
That
analogy.
script is almost exactly the same, except for the things that they had to change for America and England.
Wow.
And it's very funny to watch and see the difference.
Yeah.
The rest of the seasons are different, especially season one. They kind of go the same backbone, but go different ways.
Yeah.
The pilots, though, are the exact same script and hilarious.
That's
if you've never
so
seen The Office,
interesting.
watch both of those.
Dude, yeah, no, I've watched the British Office a shit ton of years ago, and
Yeah, it's good.
dude, I gotta.
Ricky Gervais is always really funny.
Yeah, I've yet to watch the American Office all the way through.
Oh, you should. The last couple of seasons are but
After Michael Scott leaves,
exactly.
Damn,
even like
dude.
even the last season with Michael Scott is just kind of like
Ed Helms kind of takes over, right?
for a minute. Yeah, everyone gets to be the boss for a minute. Will Ferrell's the boss for a little bit.
See, I've never even seen an Office
Robert
with
California takes over for a little while. Some British chick comes in. She's
Damn, they're just like rotating leads then.
just Elba took his job for a little while.
Oh, you told me like in like a past
Ruined
episode
it.
or something that
Yeah,
like
for
you
a while.
can't see Idris Elba.
He made Michael
The
Scott
same.
quit, and then he bought his own paper company.
That's the reason why you don't want to see him as James Bond, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite James Bond movie before we go? I'm curious, actually. I know you like not all of them, but you are
I do like all of them.
a James Bond connoisseur.
I am. A View to a Kill is my favorite James Bond movie.
Ooh, good one, man.
Starring Roger Moore, and Christopher Walken is the bad guy.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, the climax takes place on the Golden Gate Bridge, and about half of it, they talk about horses. Doesn't have anything to do with the movie, but they like to spend just like how Goldfinger, Goldfinger.
Gold member.
No, that's Austin Powers. Goldfinger, like half of Goldfinger is about golf. They like, and then like has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Do you like that banter though? Are you a fan of it? Like of that, just like
where they spend half
irrelevant.
the movie doing? No, I hate it.
Well, because Quentin
It's so
Tarantino
stupid.
sometimes pulls off really good irrelevant dialogue just so you get to know the characters.
But it has to do with the character. It has to do with the characters. James Bond playing golf for an hour and a half has nothing to do with him trying to stop gold from being stolen from Fort Knox. Like literally nothing. Just like him learning about horses has nothing to do with it. It's
You're
like
very passionate
I
about
love
this,
Bond,
dude.
but some of the Bonds have all of the Bonds have big flaws. Even the best ones have the biggest flaws.
You got to make the best Bond then. Dude, go ahead, become a writer, become a director, and make the best Bond with all of your Bond knowledge. I'll play Bond.
I'm sorry, but if I get to make the best Bond, you would not be Bond.
Damn it. Would Otis be Bond?
No, Henry Cavill would be my James
Henry
Bond.
Cavill's a good
And I want him to
one.
get a little bit older.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a little too young, a little too cut to be my James Bond.
Is he still? Yeah, he's been around for. He's getting up there. He'll be a silver fox soon enough.
We'll put a timestamp here so you guys you don't have to listen to this. But if you read the books, James Bond is a retired agent, and they bring him back because he's the only one who can who can figure it out.
Wow.
And that's what I think this next Bond, Bond 25, No Time to Die, is going to be a little bit closer to that. I think there's going to be a different Bond, a female Bond. If everything that I have read is correct, a black female Bond, or excuse me, a black female 007. And then I think she's going to die, and then they're going to have to bring in James Bond to figure out what.
Jesus, you know a lot of this like lore.
I've been reading a lot of like how it's made. They had fired the original director, then they brought in this new guy, and then they were filming in Tangiers for a little while, and then they had to stop because Daniel Craig broke his foot again. Wow. This motherfucker has glass bones in his fucking feet. He's always breaking his goddamn feet. Getting old, he is. That's why they should wait so long to make fucking Bond films. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm going red on the mic. I'm so sorry, dude.
No, so it's okay.
Long. He is the longest tenured James Bond, not because he's done more movies than anybody else, but because they take like 4 years in between the fucking movies.
They're just like, Daniel, if you could just sign this contract, in 5 years we'll release the next one.
It's more like, Daniel, how's your foot? And he's like, oh, it's shattered again. And they're like, all right, pause filming.
All right, we'll pick this up in about 1,000 days. Yeah, 6 years. Your foot's gonna be fine by then, right?
Oh man!
All right, folks. Before we sign off,
we have 1,000
shout outs for Nikki Tata.
So go ahead and tune in for the next 25 minutes as we give shout outs to Nikki Tata.
Let me get out my notepad and I'll etch a mark every single time we give a shout out.
Stretching my mouth.
There we go. I'll get my abacus and calculator ready, just in case.
3. Otis, you got the clock. 2 and 1. Shout out to Nikki Tata. 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 Shout out to Nikki Tata.
It can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad.